On the roll, into the flat. James Rogers is there, picks up of 15. Moivau gets back to work, and he'll throw again. Looking over the middle, into coverage, and just over the hands. Brady Camp is the H-back. Moivau throws that little bubble screen off the hands. 10. Moivau underneath for James Rogers. Trying to make a play, dodging a tackler and across midfield. Rogers hits another block. And the speediest guy on the from the Utah 23, Oregon State in white. Late in the play clock, straight ahead for Jaquiz Rogers in short motion on 2nd and 6. Right through, unblocked, and Moivau is in long. Make it 3rd and 14. Moivau out of the gun. Has time, drops it off underneath. It'll be shy of, been bothered by a groin injury. This one's on its way, and it's end over end. Reed 3 yards deep, and he's coming back with it. Nose of the foot.
To get a little field position here.
Johnson will throw. Protection breaks down, and he gets like he was hemming and hawing a little bit, Glenn.
Yes, he did.
2nd and long for Brian Johnson. Fires this one over the middle. Complete. We're in the Mutual Admiration Society this week. A lot of respect for each other's programs. They run the option pitch out there. And backfield, and he's had a great attitude about it, sharing the carries with Asiata. It's Mack again, off right tackle.
Everybody in the locker room likes a team guy first.
On 2nd and 8, Johnson throws, puts it right in the seam there. But not for 4. Utah picks up another first down. Straight ahead, they'll run it. 2nd and long. Asiata skipping his way along the line of scrimmage and bullying his lineman to an injury, and he has not yet returned. On the toss, busting out wide. Play of this drive. Darrell Mack is in the backfield. Johnson keeps, scampers inside the 30, cut career best for a touchdown. Here he flexes out of formation, they snap it directly in the backfield again. Oregon State territory. Brian Johnson on a check down, fails it out there. Oregon State rushing 5. Johnson on the quarterback draw, upended the 3. Very much in his comfort zone. 64 yards and a bunch of them to James Rogers. This is his younger brother, Jaquiz. Quarter tied up at 3. Moivau sets his feet, fires over the middle. Great catch. James Rogers comes in motion. They give it to him on that fly sweep. More than likely, that will change at some point one way or another tonight. Jaquiz Rogers, fleet of foot.
73, offense, 10 yards previous spot.
Moivau, that was deflected. It flutters and falls.
Replicate the diminutive Rogers.
Yeah, and he wasn't being a kidder as Moivau sets and fires again. That's
Picket fence. They've gotten 2 already.
Hecker gets the punt away. This is a line drive beauty that drives Terrell Cole back and then has a little backspin. Brian Johnson on the give, and that's a quick tackle. A former walk-on, converted linebacker and safety. From his own end zone, Brian Johnson in a heap of trouble. From the Utah 2, unenviable position for Johnson. Throws that one over the middle, and Broader is deep for Oregon State, battling a little bit of a hip pointer as he waits for this Sakota boot. Tracks it at the Utah 45. Runs into 3. Moivau sends James Rogers in motion and gives to Jaquiz.
He's had very good defenses coming in.
2 tight ends set here for Oregon State. Moivau to throw. And for the 3rd time, out of the shotgun with a bunch formation late in the play clock. Moivau over the middle. James Rogers going nowhere. Terrell Cole standing at his 10. Cole takes it and his drop. Darrell Mack is in the backfield with Brian Johnson. Some misdirection.
Tough for them to do their perimeter running game. So now they got a little more space. They can do more things offensively.
Brian Johnson intercepted. Off a lava on his way to the end zone. Touchdown.
A good view down here. This ball's going right down the hash, right into Afalava's hands. Afalava is sitting on that.
The key tonight, and the early one, hurts. Too good himself after the miscue on the point after try. From the 5. Reed, huge hole, down the sideline. Reed still on his feet, cutting it back inside. All the way down to the interception return by Al Afalava. Johnson, quarterback draw. And then the guy who had a couple of fumble recoveries against UCLA last year gets the pick there and the pick 6. They give it to Castile. And short. Darrell Mack slicing inside, keeping his feet moving, but ripped back. Grade out the best on the offensive line, 3 of the 5 games. Asiata the direct snap. Asiata crunched.
The tackles getting off the ball, linebackers attacking gaps on the run. It's big for them.
Johnson into the end zone. A one-handed leaping grab. Even when they're down by 6, but knocking on the door again. Utah in red. Johnson with all day. Now the protection breaks down, and he's ripped to... Ben Vroman handles the kickoff chores. James Rogers muffed that one, and he's going to come out with it. James Rogers hits the seam and then gets tackled wise this season. Brings the Beavers to the line of scrimmage. First back through.
Part of what we do. He's improved. He's improved his size, his strength, his touch around the basket, and we're just thankful to have him back.
Moivau off the hands of Jacques. UNLV expected to be very good in conference. And of course, we've got you covered on Mountain West Conference basketball as Terrell.
Football, good defensive battle.
Johnson will throw deep and overthrows his intended. Riley talked about how well they were practicing to get them back in order. Asiata trying to get outside.
Drag route, something to get the ball out and short.
5 wide, going long and down the middle and jumping in the air. Castile can be so clever, especially in this formation coming out of the backfield. On the option pitch, Castile skipping along. Brian Johnson, quarterback draw, hopping inside of 1. Tim, Coach Ludwig was telling you about how they deal with the new timing issues. Johnson, protection starting to break down, heaves it wide open, back of the end zone. Touchdown. Extra point try is perfect. Keenan Lewis starting in his place. Lyle Moivau for Jacques Rogers. And the youngster, second and long. Moivau sends James Rogers in motion and gives to Jacques. Utah showing a 4-man rush. Moivau's pass low. In motion for Oregon State. Now settles in. Jacques Rogers bounding off of tackle on Versus. OSU held to just 21 yards on the ground. Moivau smothered in the backfield. Wrapped up by Derek Shee.
Well, they say he's small enough. That's why they got to be creative. He's working on the left guard. Does a great job. Puts his hand right under Adam Spear's shoulder. Humps him out of the way. The old...
Brian Johnson out of the gun. Straight ahead, they'll run it. The power off a mauler on the offensive line.
It's what offensive linemen like.
Direct snap, they're going to throw out of it. Lobbing it into the end zone, and just a bit long these days in college football. Wesson comes in motion. There's the pitch. Stepping in goals and a touchdown so far. Now 1st and 10. Brian Johnson throws that one low. Nice catch. Castile flexes back into the backfield. Brian Johnson runs the option. Castile sprints to the pylon.
And here's Castile laying it out.
Hard 3 game. Utah's Val has up his sleeve as there's movement on the line of scrimmage.
Both starts, 66 offense.
State's been starting rather deep in its own territory compared to where Utah has been kicking drives off. Jacquizz Rodgers breaks loose. Rodgers to midfield, hauled down by
The hole and made a nice move to get into it.
Moival working quickly here, sets up the screen. Lots of running room again for Jacquizz. 150 with which to work in the opening half. Jacquizz Rodgers this time.
Great plays, then he gets stuffed. Now he's got to figure out, where do I go from here?
Moival throwing over the middle. Beautiful touch there. Touch this evening, battling that hip pointer. Moival fumbles the snap. And now he's in all sorts of trouble. He fumbles it again. There's a flag down. As this play is brought to a halt.
Personal foul. Grabbing the face mask, number 58.
Now for the Beavers. Jacquizz Rodgers trapped.
And which they are used to.
Reed, who ignited the Rice Eccles Stadium faithful with a long kickoff return. Brian Johnson and the Utes will look to secure.
Interesting. Aflava is not in the game.
We heard
Runners they didn't want to beat.
this is 3rd and 17. Nothing fancy. Hard hitting.
As susceptible, I think, as they could be right now for Arizona. Arizona's playing well, and they get them at home in the old Pueblo rather than having to go up to Northwest, where Washington plays everybody tough.
Kavanaugh running east-west and then running into a buzz throw to Shane Morales to bring Oregon State closer. Moival hums that one right on target.
Nobody coming after you.
Moival out of the gun. Short drop. Gets away from pressure and zips this one on target. Ooh. Sammy Schroeder gets rinsed. 6th time that he's matched up against a Mark Banker defense with Oregon State, so they know each other's tendencies fairly well. Johnson scrambling away from pressure, and then Oregon State now up to 4 sacks. Castile dancing along the sideline, and Castile back. He says Brent brings personality to this offense. Brian Johnson trapped, lost the football, it squirts loose.
Knocks the ball out. Here's another look at it a little closer. He's holding it. He tries to switch hands with it, maybe because he sees pressure, but as
for Utah in this one, a Thursday night clash, college football back on Versus. Play action, Moival to throw, wide open and right on target for in sync. It's getting better and better as the season progresses. Moival again off of play action to throw. That one was high and reeled back in. Howard Kroom in motion. Jacquizz Rodgers with a gap. Rodgers into the end zone. 2-point conversion try in the first half. Here we go again, early in the 3rd. Moival on a sprint out. Underneath, that pass is low and incomplete. Putting it back into play. This is a short kick. Reed from the 9. Angles his way across the 25 and 30. Fumbled the football ahead to give the Beavers the advantage. Brian Johnson leads Asiata straight ahead, and it all happens so quickly at that line of scrimmage. Johnson sets his feet, launches it deep. This will fall incomplete. Vision-wise for Utah in the early going tonight. Johnson has to get rid of that one quickly, and he does, and right on time.
Give me the yardage.
Brian Johnson on the keeper. As we tip our cap to all the men and women in our technical crew for their help. Brian Johnson has a lot of time to throw. Down the middle and off the hands of Afflava. 2nd and 10. Johnson on the pump fake and then a bit strong as he tried to lead. Numbers for Utah in the 3rd quarter this season, however, have been outstanding. More on that as time progresses. Johnson zips this one. Freddie Brown broke ending punt returner being bothered by that hip pointer. Sakota hangs this one up, skying it inside the 10 and juggled at the 1. Did they keep it out? Camp in motion. Jacquizz Rodgers with a flag down.
Okay. Both start. Number 88 offense. Dead ball. Personal foul. Number 10 defense. Will step off 5 yards.
And to get the guys ready on the short week, there's another flag coming.
Both start. 66 off.
15 for Lyle Moivau and the Beavers.
There are two guys that come in that are strong personalities that change everything.
Moivau screen to Jacquizz Rodgers, not going very far.
Up the MAC. If they don't, you're going to play like that one.
Moivau with oodles of time. Over the middle, juggled and dropped. Terrell Cole, the 5th different punt returner the Utes have used this season. This punt off the side of the foot works out just fine as Cole is wrestled down to the numbers for Willie Tuitama. Last year in that particular matchup, the two clubs went for better than 1,000 yards of quarter college football on versus. Darrell Mack in motion. The option pitch. And it's all with Reed, the motion man. The snap was low. Johnson's got to get out of there. The pass juggled, then caught. And then Reed was broader. Been bothered by that hip pointer this week. He's practiced very little. He's asking for a fair catch. He short hopped it off of his hands. And it's a wild road. Play action for Moivau. Crossing route right on target for James Rodgers. Third quarter. How physical a game this one had been. Jacquizz Rodgers. But all in all, Utah has kept him under wraps except for one big rushing play. Moivau escapes pressure. Shovels this one. 3rd and a long 2. The toss. Jacquizz Rodgers gets the first down. This is James Rodgers in motion. Rodgers catches that one out in the flat on a little bubble screen. Approaching 300 yards of total offense. Jacquizz Rodgers hurdling one tackler, and Moivau sends Camp in motion as his H-back. And then a
start. 66 offense.
Supposed to be. That confuses offensive line sometimes.
Rodgers. Darrell Catchings is the wide out to the boundary side of the field. Moivau loops it over the middle. Hauled in by his top student section, imploring the defense now on 3rd and long. Moivau drilled. Ball's free. Good hustle.
Ball. Watch Kruger here. Comes underneath. It's a great TE. Knocks the ball out, but there's the ball. No one.
3. On the way with plenty of leg. Oregon State takes care of number 1 ranked USC, and it triggered a wild celebration. They run the toss here. Eddie Wide slicing ahead. 60s. Come into tonight's action 2-2. Lots of misdirection. And then the handoff. Did not fool Johnson. 3rd down here and 4. On the quick slant. On the Oregon State has done a nice job defensively again. Corbin Laux coming on. Yielding the ball for Asiata. On 2nd and long. Flare it out. Asiata spun around. On 3rd and 5. Early in the 4th. Johnson's got to get out of dodge. Throws that one into coverage. It's deflected. Kavanaugh going to let this one fly, and it bounds into the end zone.
Doing pretty well, I'd say. They found his rhythm.
Coaches say he has a magnetic personality. Drops this one over the middle, finds the big tight end there. Across the 30. Utah. Off the play action. Moivau. Beautiful throw. Completes it right on the... These two teams share so many recruits. And they battled year after year to get the top play. Oregon State in white. Draw. Not a lot of room. Moivau. Batted down. Roll on defense each and every week. Hecker launches this one high in the air. Cole will let it fall, and it bounces over the kick at the can. College football on Versus tonight. Big hole. Asiata down the sideline and into Oregon's high conference, tangling with a Pac-10 rival tonight. Laux gives the ball inside. Balances at the line of scrimmage. Keeps it simple. Durrell.
Good, try to get a little more. It's an interesting spot there.
Out of the gun. Brian Johnson tucks it back down. Throws it off the hands of Dakota. Got a lot of leg into this one, into the end zone. Howard Kroom in motion. Jacquizz Rodgers of the turnover story. More on that in a moment. Moival wants to wheel it out into the flat, and he does. Nice moves on the outside. They told us that Moival keeps.
Far it's been a battle. Each one's gotten the better of the other a couple of times.
Moival, they love this little tight end screen, little open up flash. Jacquizz Rodgers nailed in the back. Morales is the motion man into that bunch formation. Jacquizz Rodgers, no room. Stevenson, Sylvester, bear hug.
Having the face mask. Number 11, defense.
Ouch.
15 yards.
And that's, probably part and parcel. And there is a face mask.
Ute showing blitz.
Call out the big guys. I hate doing that.
We'll start. Number 50.
How's that?
1st and 15. Jacquizz Rodgers gobbled up again by Mike Wright. They try to in the 4th at Rice-Eccles Stadium. Staying on the ground.
No matter.
Getting up in arms. With college football on versus Moival under pressure. Nice looking pass. He's got it complete. Jacquizz Rodgers hitting the brakes. Inside the 10, down to the 5.
Secondary.
James Rodgers and Darrell Catchings to the wide side of the formation. Jacquizz Rodgers, motion. Moival for Jacquizz Rodgers. He pinballs off of one tackler, but won't go much farther than that. As he multiple tight end set. Play action. Moival on a roll over the middle. Touchdown. He can't. A good blocker in short yardage.
Season on the line. Dreams are on the line. What are we going to do here?
They kick it away from David Reed. Fielded by an up back. Lowering the shoulder. Bounding his way to the 37, 38 yard. Ta is 8. Johnson sets his feet. Puts it out there for Godfrey.
These guys, or to get the DBs to jump routes.
Oregon State rushing 4.
It's ticking. You really got to pay attention to your timeouts, and that's what offensive coordinators have to do, head coaches have to do.
Off the pump fake, Johnson sings it in there. Castile and Brown to the wide side of the formation. Johnson over the middle, a strike on target. Godfrey, touchdown. Seconds to go. Brian Johnson throws back of the end zone. Nothing there. Reed upset.
Pass interference. Defense. 41.
Play action. Brian Johnson rolls, tucks it down, sprints to the corner, and it's tied. Moival to throw. Pressure coming from Shelby. And this one is incomplete.
I'll find a way for him to make a play.
They run that fly sweep for James Rodgers. Nothing.
No, at 3rd and 7 at this part of the field.
Moival out of the gun. Heaves it. Intended for Morales, and he got him. It's bedlam at Rice-Eccles Stadium. A low knuckler. Corkscrews out of bounds. Caution to the wind. 5 wideouts for Brian Johnson. Short drop and throw. It was low. Johnson scampers away. Shovels this one for Mack. And he put a shoulder on. Time ticking again. Now at 40 seconds left. Johnson airs it out. Castile gets a foot in bounds.
That's an absolute.
Run it. Darrell Mack. Collard. Dakota's got it on the way. Bullseye! Utah victorious.